Join the conversation on Facebook and Twitter with Good Day Dakota.
You may have heard the terms jack of all trades or man of many hats. Well, in this man's case, that rings true. National Guard veteran, retired journalist, commercial gardener, and cancer survivor are only some of the hats he adorns. Marvin Baker is this week's Someone You Should Know.
Someone You Should Know is sponsored by First Light Home Care of North Dakota.
Marvin Baker grew up in Hazelton, North Dakota.
There wasn't a whole lot to do there in the winter, but summertime I played a lot of baseball.
Baker graduated from Hazelton and then took a few years off school and entered the National Guard in that time. Then in 1984, he made his way to what was then known as Bismarck Junior College, where he played baseball and pursued his interest in journalism. He melded his two loves together his first year and became sports editor with the Mystician, the newspaper on campus. After BJC, he then attended UND, where he first met his wife.
We actually went separate ways, married different people, and then came back to each other in 2000.
After graduating college, Baker began his career in journalism. While working for the Minot Daily News in 2005, Baker says he covered the biggest story of his career. He was assigned to cover the Saskatchewan Centennial, and there he saw Queen Elizabeth up close and in person. Did you meet her?
Not exactly, but I violated British protocol. Let me explain. She and Prince Philip walked right past me. I mean, probably closer than you are to me. And I took some photographs, and British protocol says you're not supposed to take a photograph of the Queen within 10 feet of her. So,
over his 31 years, Baker has worked for various small-town newspapers across our state, and he has many notable achievements. One time, he even tied himself for a photo contest. And he still continues to write columns for the Kenmare newspaper. Baker says that these communities across North Dakota may be small, but the stories are still big.
There's things going on in these small towns that sometimes are unique, sometimes are refreshing, or something new, something being built. As an example, I mean, the Kenmare volleyball team made it to the state tournament, and I covered Kenmare for how many years, and I still know some of those girls on that team. It's a big deal for Kenmare.
Over his years as a journalist, Baker still spent time doing work for the National Guard, retiring with 35 years under his belt. For 20 of those years, he did chemical warfare across the United States. Baker was presented with a Joint Service Commendation Medal, and he says that he's thankful for his time in the National Guard, and it helped him build important life skills.
It taught me how to be a good leader, because I went to all the schools that were required to be promoted, and the North Dakota National Guard does a really good job of teaching you about leadership skills.
Not only has Baker spent more than 30 years in journalism in the National Guard, but he's also spent the last 20 years as a commercial gardener. In 2002, Baker purchased some land by Carpio, and in 2006, he became a certified organic vegetable farmer.
Peanuts, we've been growing peanuts since 2005. Grew tobacco last year, and we've been growing okra since 2005, and we've had cotton now for 11 years.
Baker says he's one of the only farmers in North Dakota to grow cotton. He says for now, he regrows it every year and harvests the seeds, hoping to have enough to make t-shirts and other things one day. Although a hard worker, life for Baker would begin to look a little different. In 2018, Baker was diagnosed with kidney cancer that year, and he says it changed his whole way of life.
I've always been a person to look forward, like, a week, 2 weeks, a month ahead, what am I going to do next spring, next summer? When I found that out, it's like I got 4 days or 5 days or a week. I don't know what's going to happen beyond that. You take one day at a time.
Baker's wife was able to find him some hope and found a doctor at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota to help him. Baker is now cancer-free as of October 18th, 2024. And he said it was his positive attitude that helped him get there. And as he continues to write columns for local newspapers, Baker is also a published author of 4 total books so far. His first book was released in May of 2001. A friend of Baker's wanted his grandfather's story to be told. So, Baker took the time and sat down with the man in a nursing home to learn more about his time in World War I.
And I spent 6 weeks talking to him and taking notes, and then he passed away. I didn't get all the information I wanted, but enough to write a book. And so we put that book together. It's called Dakota Doughboy, the Otto Ehringer story, about this young soldier from rural North Dakota, went to France in the fall of 1918 and got into some pretty ugly stuff.
Baker says that the reason he's been able to stay in the journalism world for so long is because of the people that he's worked with along the way and laughter.
The way we motivate people, it's not fear, it's not money, it's humor, it's silliness. That's how we motivate people, and they love it, and we work together so well.
Marvin Baker is the man of many hats and the jack of all trades. He's a father, grandfather, journalist, National Guard veteran, commercial gardener, and author, to only name a few. And that's why he's this week's someone you should know. Reporting for KX News, I'm Taylor Rawson.
You can catch Baker in the summer at the farmers market in Minot, or catch his articles in local papers across our state. If you think there's someone we should know like Marvin, fill out our nomination form on kxnet.com.